Kelly is flipping through the arts and entertainment section of the newspaper. It's been so long since I've seen a musical.
Same here. What's playing on Broadway these days?
Let's see.
A revival of On the Town just opened at the Public Theater. A friend of mine is an understudy for one of the lead roles.
On the Town? Could that be the one about some sailors in New York City?
Yeah, that's the one. It's about 3 sailors who are on a 24-hour leave before they go off to war.
I saw it with my mother when it ran on Broadway in the 70s. The score's by Leonard Bernstein. Mother just adores his music.
So do I. I was fascinated by West Side Story.
And was On the Town a success back then?
I couldn't say the show was critically acclaimed, but it wasn't a flop either.
How are the reviews on the current production, Toby?
So far, it's received mixed reviews.
We ought to go and see it, regardless of the reviews.
Are tickets at the Public Theater as expensive as Broadway?
Probably not. Their productions aren't spectacles with big-name stars.
But with big-name stars, you do get your money's worth.
I still think $70 to see a show is outrageous.
Well, it cost millions of dollars to stage a show.
There's so much at stake. It must be an enormous gamble to mount a musical.
In the current economic climate, corporate sponsors pull out at the drop of a hat.
Even so, we shouldn't have to pay so much.
The good thing about New York is that you're offered a wide variety of shows at a wide range of prices.
And even free events.
Did you go and see Shakespeare in the park?
Of course I did. It's a summer tradition in the city. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
And it's nice to be entertained free of charge for a change.
Absolutely. It offers all New Yorkers a chance to see Shakespeare without regard for commercial concerns.
Well, let's hope it stays that way.
All right. Now let's listen to mystery novels.
Kelly, Toby, and Todd are having a drink at Kelly's apartment.
Do you read mystery novels, Kelly?
Sure. Mystery novels are my favorite genre.
I read them from time to time, too.
Look, I've got a shelf full of mystery, crime, and suspense. You're welcome to read them, Toby.
Thanks. Actually, I'm a bit embarrassed to tell you this, but I've been working on one myself.
You're writing a mystery?
Yeah, it's an offbeat detective story.
Well, here's to a future nominee for the Edgar Allan Poe Awards.
I don't think so.
So tell us about the plot. Or is that going to be a mystery till it's completed?
The central character is a homicide detective, but I can't give the story away just yet.
Not even to your best friends?
To be honest, I haven't a clue as to how it'll end.
Don't you have to first come up with an outline?
Not necessarily, but this way I'll have a harder time wrapping up loose ends.
Have you taken writing classes?
Sure. In my first writing class, I was given the most valuable advice a writer could receive.
And what was that?
The professor said to take a situation that intrigues you and ask yourself, what if?
I'd add the question why to that. In a mystery, several people usually have strong reasons to commit a crime.
Yes, we need to ask ourselves, why was his or her motivation stronger?
Why did you decide on writing a mystery novel?
Basically, for the same reasons people read them.
A fascination with evil. And a yearning for justice.
Right. Real-life crimes and their outcomes can be so grim.
But with fiction, a writer solves those crimes for the readers.
Best of all, in the last chapter, the good guys win and the bad guys get what they deserve.
But that's so unlike the real world.
Exactly. So it's the one place the readers are certain to find justice.
Okay, let's wind up by watching a drama series.
Kelly, Toby, and Todd are leaving a restaurant. Well, I'm heading home. I wouldn't want to miss my favorite program on TV.
What program is that?
ER, of course. They've just started the new season.
I can't believe you rely on TV for entertainment.
I hate to tell you, but I'm a faithful viewer of TV dramas too.
Toby, some of the recent drama series, as well as some sitcoms, are almost as good as novels.
Frankly, I have neither the time nor the patience to sit in front of the tube for an hour.
Toby, you don't know what you're missing.
Images and spoken words can never be as enlightening as reading a book.
I wouldn't say that, Toby. I think there's a greater percentage of quality programs now than ever before.
And sometimes there's dialogue good enough to be in a book.
That's hard to believe.
TV dramas also have a lot of compelling characters you can relate to.
Like Dr. Green, the sensitive resident whose marriage is falling apart on ER. I've come to think of him almost as a friend.
Do you really prefer watching TV to reading a book?
It depends, Toby. TV has taken over some of the roles books used to fill in my life.
I was never so grateful for TV as when I worked as an investment banker.
Why?
Well, my job required me to spend hours reading and talking just about the financial market.
Gosh, you really didn't have much of a life, did you?
No, and by the time I got home, the whole family was asleep. So I'd go into the den and turn on the TV.
I admit, TV can help you unwind at the end of the day.
It also kept me abreast of everything I was missing.
You mean it gave you the news and the sports scores?
Yes, but most of all, the dramas told me stories.
How were the stories useful?
Well, I had something to talk about at work other than business.
You mean you talked with your colleagues about whether Doc Green and his wife would get back together?
Uh-huh. The stories helped me feel connected to people.
After all, television is something, if not the only thing, that all of us have in common these days, Toby.
Jeff, when it comes to entertainment, I think what matters is how much pleasure it gives you.
Okay.
I enjoy all forms of entertainment, from opera to quiz shows on TV. But if I were to choose one, it would be film.
I thought so.
While I was living in Manhattan, I became a fervent moviegoer. I probably went out to see about 4 films a month and rented twice as many on video.
Wow.
But that's still not too many compared to some of those people who live and breathe movies.
It's funny how many New York friends of mine are movie maniacs. Could it be because New York itself kind of looks like a stage set?
Could be. But actually, I developed an interest in films after I took several courses on film and cinematography in graduate school.
Oh.
There was one Iranian professor who introduced me to a whole new array of foreign films. Although these films never made it to the multiplex theaters, they had interesting plots and amazing images, quite unlike your usual Hollywood blockbuster.
Oh.
On top of that, I was also reintroduced to many of the classic Japanese films created by masters like Ozu and Kurosawa.
You know, Marcia, it's amazing that many Japanese have never seen the films of these two masters or even heard of them. Actually, I share something in common with Ozu and Kurosawa.
Jeff, you're really an upcoming film director.
How did you know? No, it's no.
No.
No plays. Both of these men, like myself, loved Japanese traditional theater. I enjoy no because it leaves so much to the imagination, and that's probably the reason I don't care much for movies, except those of Ozu and Kenji Mizoguchi.
Ah, he's another one. And you say you're from L.A., near Hollywood, the tinsel town?
I just can't help it. But tell me, Marcia, are you still frequenting the cinemas?
I rarely go see a movie these days. I'm simply too busy. Now, if my life in Japan was as slow-paced as those no plays, I might be able to afford more entertainment in my life.